All right, all right. So it's been a little chaotic. It was very complex to reconnect everything, but this is the first stream with one of the best human beings I've ever met. um, Dr. Paul is our guest today. I'm gonna tell you quickly how I met him. Um, Honestly, I would prefer this to be a little bit smoother, but you gotta do it whichever way you can, right? So, okay, so it was like 6 weeks ago. I was hanging out on LinkedIn, and this very smart gentleman say, "Hello, look, I have this invention." I'm like, "What? What is this?" Space medicine doctor, anesthesiologist. I was like, "What is this?" He started sending me things. I'm like, "Oh, very kind of you." I'm like, "Who's Dr. Paul Silverman?" Well, Dr. Paul Silverman is one of the kindest, smartest, humble, inventor, medical, mathematician, physicist. You will see why. All this in a few minutes. He's waiting on the other side. I wish I would have had more things prepared, but I guess it's better. You know, he's episode 1, so it's gonna happen somehow. There might be many errors, but I hope not many. I have a lot of cameras that I did not connect, and instruments and stuff, but let's do it. Let's rock and roll. I even have this AI I created, Andito. Andy, hold on. See if this works. Does it speak? I think on the next one I'll get it to speak. Let's see. All right. I guess not. So all right. So today we're gonna talk to the great. It's not gonna be a technical talk. It's gonna be a personal conversation with this amazing human being, whom I consider a close friend now. Quickly, a space medicine expert. I've been to 2 of his webinars, which are amazing. I don't know how he condenses so much information in 1 hour. Brilliant. He speaks to people of all ages. The first one was people from like around 30 to 60. I think I don't even know profession they were, but they made great questions. And then the other one was with the teacher and students. And you gotta get to know him. So let's get the excitement over with. And there might be some errors, as I say, but let me unmute Dr. Paul. Let's meet him. Dr. Paul.
Good evening. Do you hear me? Good evening from here. You hear me?
I think so. I don't know if the crowd hears you, but I hear you loud and clear. Houston,
Okay, I said good evening.
we have signal.
I said yes. I said good evening because it's 10:40 here, so I don't know exactly what hour is in your place. So anyway, hello,
Where,
saludos.
we can start. Where are you speaking from? Where are we communicating from? Because I'm in Guadalajara, Mexico.
Oh, okay. So buenas tardes de Jerusalén, Israel. I believe all our listeners from the other side speak Spanish. So I did my best to say hello in your language.
And you have a very good language, because I think the roots of your natal country have similar. They come from Latin roots, right?
Yes, Latin language. I was born in Romania, one of the 10. Romania is one of the 10 Latin languages. I mean, derived from Latin. That's the first one, and the rest of others like Spanish, Portuguese, French, Swiss Romand, Romanian, they say Moldavian, Catalan, and all the rest are also derivatives from the, of course, Italian.
Excellent, excellent. All right. So, Dr. Paul, I had this presentation ready, and this whole connection got a little chaotic, but we're here. Let's make this quick, and let's have fun because it's always fun conversating with you. So, I'll make a little intro. He's a pioneer of a frontier. He's taking medicine and to the cosmos. Dr. Paul Silverman is where precision of anesthesiology, which is his practice, meets the boundless possibilities of space medicine. So, without any further ado, let's get to it. How are you doing today, by the way?
Well, a little bit tired because it's very cold outside. Cold for Jerusalem, Working as usual. But
From Israel, right?
It was a normal day, yes. Thank you.
Okay, don't worry. I'll be quick. Don't worry. Okay. So today's roadmap, we're gonna see his origin story. We're gonna see the vision that he has and the impact it can have, and then the innovation he has because he has a patent. I had images. I do have the images, but I don't know if he has the model. We're gonna see it later, and then we're gonna get to know a little bit more about his story and how he got into medicine and what he sees, or how he sees the space medicine could help the globe advance. Right. So the origin story. Okay. Tell us a little bit more about how it all started, because it didn't start with medicine. I think you started with other degrees, right, Dr. Paul?
Well, first of all, my background, my late parents were mathematics. My mother was a mathematics teacher, and my father was a building engineer. So I grew up in a house of mathematics. I graduated in my hometown, a big university town in Romania, in the northeast, called Iași. I graduated together with a colleague of mine. We are on the top list of the physics and mathematics section of our high school.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, that helped me get into the medical school. Because many years ago, it was supposed that the doctor is from the humanistic part, coming with the stethoscope and blah, blah, blah. It appears actually that modern medicine, of course, you don't need to lose the human touch, but in order to perform modern medicine, you need to know a lot of physics, a lot of chemistry, a lot of mathematics. And when you put them all together in the right proportion and with the right guidance, usually the result is the good one. People don't always realize that basically we as humans are nothing else than computers.
Biological computers.
I wouldn't say even biological, just computers with human life. We have the hard disk, we have the wires, we have we have the microphones, we have the cameras, and of course, this is a very simplistic image, but you got the point. So the moment you understand these systems in proper connection and function, then the rest comes natural. It made me, this structure and this way of thinking made me, on one part, a very hard life in medicine, even when I was a student, because not everybody was coming from the same background, but on the same page. Even now, I remember perfectly things I learned first year in anatomy and physiology, later on neurology, neurosurgery, because everything is organized, everything is connected.
You utilize systems thinking. You see everything as a system.
It's an associative thinking.
Associative. How does it differentiate associative thinking to systems thinking?
The associative thinking, you take an abstract notion, let's say, like an organ, that it's
an axiom.
It's a given thing. And if you can associate it with something you're accustomed to, you're used to, then you translate mentally that given thing with something that you're familiar. And then the
Okay.
interpretation becomes much, much easier.
There's an order. Okay. So there's connections, there's a network. So to take a little steps back, you were mentioning about the understanding of physics, and we're not going to start with the space medicine things yet, and with your amazing patent invention that you have. One of the things I find interesting about space medicine that it differentiates from aerospace medicine, because aerospace has air, their space medicine is in orbit. And not to get a little complicated, but there's 4 forces of the universe: weak force, strong force. Those are atomic level. And then there's electromagnetism and gravity. And what is specific about space medicine is that there is, we could call it zero gravity, but really it's microgravity because it's always gravity. But space medicine, speaking about you saying physics, it removes one of the 4 forces, which makes it a very peculiar aspect, because there's no other way to remove gravity from the human body unless you're in orbit. So we're gonna get a little bit more into that in a few seconds. And so you went from physics to medicine, and then you specialized in anesthesiology. Yes. Why?
Correct.
Why did you go into anesthesiology?
Well, sometimes after many, many years, you came to the conclusion that whatever happened in your life had a reason. Actually, after I passed my exams, when I came to Israel, my diploma was not recognized. It was an administrative question issue, not my personally. That the whole doctors coming to Israel. So I had to pass my exams. It was very hard because it was another system. And when I
This
did
is in
the one,
Romania?
no, in Israel.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I was checking
So,
something.
well, I finally passed my exams, and then, well, I wanted to submit with myself. I don't want to be the family doctor or general doctor anymore. And I tried several options, and believe it or not, only in anesthesia, they told me, after a short interview, of course, well, we'll receive you immediately. Not, we'll go home, we'll call you back. They received me and some other candidates on the spot. So this is how it all started. It was very, very difficult in the beginning because in the educational system in Romania, we didn't have, like in Israel and probably in other countries, like electives. You go through all the medical specialties at least to get an idea. It was completely new to me. And it was difficult. I don't know what an intubation was. I never used narcotics. I actually put them correctly, opioids, because narcotics are something else. And
Okay. I
it
have
was totally different.
And I have a question.
Yeah, and so it went. And my basics of physics and mathematics helped me and keep helping me a lot.
Okay. What do you think, before we get into anesthesiology and your patent, what is the biggest drive into medicine? What drove you there?
It was, you have to read a few books of like the municipal hospital and things like. Something sometimes happens in your life that makes like a switch. And I remember, like now, I was in the 10th class, and I had to read something for the next day. I read something about the cardiovascular system. And it was so organized. It was so logical. While reading, it's like you see the heart pumping in front of your eyes and the blood flowing all over the body. And that was the blitz moment.
That eureka moment. Okay. And then
only that I'm not Archimedes. It's okay.
You're an Archimedes. Almost.
Yeah.
Actually, getting into that, you are an inventor. You have the dolphin mask. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because it is beautiful. Do you have a model there? If not, I have some images here.
Let me try to find one. I think I
because
have one.
Dr.
Yeah.
Paul has a patent pending.
Okay, I think I can see myself in the small image,
Mhm.
and I'll show it to you. I meant the small one. Okay, I don't know how much because it's the image. If you can upload a photo, it will be easier because here it's
Okay,
very difficult
of course. Give me
if
1 second.
the system is blurring it. But I have that big model that you saw. Maybe it's easier to see.
Yes. Okay.
Ah,
I'm gonna
it's
get
still
the images
difficult.
here.
No, I
Yeah.
think it will just need the people, the participants, because they don't see it very clearly. So
We're gonna do this one better next time. It's better a test run right now. So here I'm gonna get some images really quick. Can you explain to people before you tell what the innovation of your invention is, the types of
Okay.
what the tube is for, and so that they understand the different types
Okay.
and why your innovation is very amazing.
Okay. The idea was I was working in the gastroenterology department providing anesthesia for children.
Mm-hmm.
In an adult or in a cooperative patient, when you put an endoscope to the throat, you can use a little bit of local anesthetic, a little bit of sedation, and usually the patient is cooperative. In children, the situation is obviously different, so you have to put the children to sleep. But in order to put the endoscope in, you also need to keep the child breathing. So it's a very, very delicate balance because if you put the child too deep, the child stops breathing, and if it's too light, it starts choking or even suffocating. So together with a colleague of mine, gastroenterologist who came from the States, we came with the idea to use a laryngeal mask. But the laryngeal mask it was somehow a progress because I could control the anesthesia.
Can you explain a little bit to the audience, if there's an audience, what a laryngeal mask is and so they understand the difference?
Laryngeal, no, that's a problem because the video quality is not very good. I mean, it's cutting somehow the image. The laryngeal mask is a tube connected to some sort of a balloon in the form of somehow a rounded triangle with a balloon that you can put blindly into the airway of the patient. It stays above the vocal cords, and with this device, you can both ventilate or let the patient breathe by himself. So it's very easy. They say you see one, you do one, you teach one. This is the genius of this device. But usually you cannot insert anything behind it or down the esophagus to the stomach. There are other models, newer ones that allow you to do this, but tubes are very small diameters.
I'm sharing the screen right now with everyone so they see your invention, but we're still listening. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in order to insert a gastroscope for a child that has a diameter of about 4.5, 5 millimeters, okay, that is the design. I see it on the small screen. Okay, so that laryngeal mask has a balloon that does not allow you to insert anything unless you lubricate it very well. And even so, after a few minutes, because of the saliva, because of the temperature and everything, all the lubricant slowly starts getting out of the plate. So it's very difficult for the endoscopist to do all the maneuvers that are needed in order to make the test. So in the beginning, we took the air out. It was a little bit of a progress, but still it was difficult. So we came with the idea of, instead of taking the air out or a balloon, just to leave the head of the device filled with a material, solid material, I mean elastic, but no balloon, and just scoop two channels, open channels, like a letter C, that combine to the tip of the device, and so you can put the device in place to let the patient breathe, but also you have, I mean, the gastroenterologist has an already prepared way to insert
right now. Mm-hmm.
to insert the device. It has been patented. Of course, whoever is got close to the world of innovation and patents, that is a very, very difficult, and I would not very nice to say, but very expensive one. And now I tested it on a dummy, and it worked perfectly. I cannot test it on a live patient because it's forbidden without the permit of the permit of the hospital. And now I'm working with the health minister here to get all the required permits. That's a long administrative procedure, but that's what it is. And I hope when this device will be ready, I'm intending to build it for the whole range from the small child to the big adult.
I have that. Can I show the PowerPoint presentation that you shared with me? Can I share it on screen?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
It's not secret.
Okay, give me 1 second so people understand.
It's public domain.
Yeah, I know, but I have to ask. Anyways,
Okay.
I mean, I feel more comfortable. Out of respect. So I'm not an anesthesiologist, but just to explain a little bit, people. The mask normally goes on, and then they intubate people. So they intubate, and then I mean, you can use mask for other things. But the normal mask, it's called a mask because when the trachea comes out, it covers like this, right? And then normally they have these tubes in parallel. I'm gonna take out the Starship, which is not the correct thing, but the Starship normally goes in the inside, right? Like that, right? His innovation, which we're gonna see right now, I'm gonna share the screen, is that it has two C shapes. Okay. And okay, so I'm sharing the screen. Sorry for the bad design. I'm gonna make it a little bit more squared. There you go. Okay. So these lateral areas is where the innovation is. Through these holes, and there's the great Dr. Paul. Let me see. Okay. Through these C-shaped, I don't want to explain it. If you want to briefly explain, and then we'll continue how this applies to space medicine too.
Okay, that's a film where I check on a dummy. Yeah. I think if the audience does not have anesthesiologists, it's a little bit misleading running so fast. I'm telling you why, because I had problems explaining to people in my own field, anesthesiologists, what it's all about. And it was very, very, very difficult because if you don't have an integrative way of thinking, you're thinking about device A, you think about device B, but when you are asked to combine A with B or parts of A with parts of B and result a C with some modification, then the thinking stops. It doesn't go.
Yeah. It was actually a little difficult for me to understand at the beginning too. So you're right. But
yeah, I know.
It is amazing.
Yeah, but once they get it, then it's like, wow, how didn't anyone think about that before?
So now taking it back to space medicine, and not to get too technical, how could this you share with me, but if you can remind us how this could be used in orbit?
Yes,
that's more beneficial than the normal.
There are several very, very basic things to understand. First, I mean, you send people in space at one point or another. They might need emergency medical assistance like on Earth. The problem is that you don't have the luxury to send with every team in space a qualified anesthesiologist. So even on Earth, securing the airway of a patient with a tube, it's a very difficult maneuver. I mean, it takes a lot of time until you get enough skills to perform this. Now imagine that here on Earth, you sit with your feet on the ground, the patient is laying on a table, nothing moves. In space, first of all, as I mentioned, you don't have anesthesiologists. Second, they are all floating. So they looked for the easiest, most simple maneuver to secure the airways of a stricken astronaut just in case. So the idea of this device is there is a bigger family of supraglottic devices. As I mentioned, they don't go through the vocal cords. They are above them. It's the simplest way to do. You just insert it blindly, and the device finds its position by itself.
It is self-adjusting.
Exactly. And the big advantage of my device, above the regular advantages of the supraglottic devices, is you can insert down the esophagus anything you want, like a transesophageal echo probe, like a gastric sonda, anything you need without any complication, because the roads, those channels are already built. You just need to railroad.
Yeah, it's amazing because normally, and especially on orbit, when there's no gravity and there's no position, as you mentioned on your presentations, if it's an emergency, you have very few seconds to get the airway clear and then get air inside. And if you have to use more instrumentation, it's like putting a string through a needle, to the eye of a needle, with a normal invention. And with yours, it is self-resolving by design, and it doesn't matter what diameter.
No, there are some limitations, but much less that with the present supraglottic device, because you have basically 2 dimensions of gastroscope and 2 dimensions of TEE. TEE maybe have a little bit more or less, but basically in adults, because you don't sell for at least children in space, the differences are minimal. So those 3 channels being actually open channels, they can adjust themselves to the diameter of whatever device you want to thread to the patient.
Excellent. All right, now we're getting a little technical. So let's get back to the well, let's stay on orbit, and tell us what gets you most excited of the transfer of medical innovations that have happened on orbit that can have benefits here on Earth for patients here that have gravity.
This is an ongoing science. First of all, they started with the miniaturization, because you need medical equipment in space. But first of all, you don't have its volume, its weight, it's energy consuming, and they need to be reliable. So far I read one of the first devices developed in space is the insulin pump. You know, for the diabetic patients.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, neither did I. You know, the more you read, you remember that photo in my presentation, like a magnet that attracts a person. The more you read, the more you understand, and more you are attracted. And of course, that goes hand in hand with the miniaturization of the electronic components, the better and better and smaller engines, more economy efficient. Also, there. Yeah, go on.
Just explain to people it is. So, taking rockets to space is hard and expensive because you have to go against gravity, right? So what he's saying, what Dr. Paul is saying, is that if you have to take things to orbit, the key performance indicator, or the data you have to measure, is how much it costs per kilogram, and it's not just the weight; it's the volume. So let's say this is the benefit for Earth. Let's say you have an MRI or CAT scan or some generic. No, if you take a rocket, let's say you have to take imagine this is a tool for medicine, and you have to take it, and it weighs, let's say it would weigh 3 kilograms, and it's this size, and there's no space for it, right? So what happens is they have to reduce the size and the weight. So then they make this, right? So you say, how does that benefit Earth? Well, the thing is, they both have the same function, and those production lines will stay alive, which means these will lower price because they're the old ones, but they do exactly the same, which means they can trickle down to places where normally this wouldn't be, because they become cheaper. But it is the same exact tool, just smaller. I mean, yeah, it's the same exact tool, just it didn't shrink and then go down in size. So taking things to space, just to put it in simpler words, you already said this, is the reduction of size and weight creates innovation, not just for new things, but also for the old things that have the same function, and that benefits because it can go to more patients at a lower cost than it would have been before because of reduction of size and weight. So kind of like that. Did I get anything? Is that correct or kind of?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely correct. And that gives me that gives me the idea to point another difference between Earth and space. You used the word mass and weight. I mean volume and weight.
Hmm.
This is weight is correct only on Earth because weight is something and mass is something else. In space, you have only mass. You don't have weight because you don't have gravitational acceleration. Okay,
Yeah, there's
so
no newtons.
yes, actually G's. Um, and also they are working in space to produce uh, pure proteins or pure crystals for medications that no matter what you do on Earth, you cannot make the same purity because
That is so
those
correct.
molecules are still influenced by the gravitation. To
I'm
what
gonna
extent I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
see what you're saying is because I think I read something. I might not get the numbers right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I I'm just gonna put it at a random scale. Let's say right now, because I think the most crystal the pharmaceutics the most crystallized, the ones that are more the tried are for cancer and for HIV or AIDS, and these proteins crystallize better on orbit, but which because there's no gravity, right, to take it. But the thing that if I remember correctly is, let's say the treatment cost, it was something amazing like this. Let's say the treatment cost 100,000. Just I'm making up a number. Making it on orbit, since the crystallization is so efficient, it brings down the price. I think it was like from like I'm making up numbers. It's just a random scale from 100,000 to like 500. Like oh no 5,000. It goes down like 90% by concentration because of the quality of the crystallization. And also, I read what would normally take, I'm giving another random time scale, what would normally take 2 weeks intravenous that the patient has to stay, I'm gonna say 1 hour every few days, and the whole treatment will take 2, 3, 4 weeks. That costs 100,000. By crystallizing on orbit, you not only reduce the price, you also reduce the way you implement it. You can do it subcutaneously, and you can do it in 5 minutes. So instead of spending 100,000 random scale, that will take 2 or 3 weeks. It will cost the patient 500, 5 minutes, and you get the same quality of treatment. And you can only do
I
that
don't
on
know.
orbit.
I don't know if I remember exactly the acronym, but it's called FBC: faster, better, cheaper.
Bueno, bonito, barato. That's how they. That's how they say that in Mexico. Actually, yes, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
biomanufacturing is very beneficial, and I mean this is not medical, but also the efficiency of fiber optics. It goes down. It goes from 90% to I think 99.8%, which is crazy. It's very efficient. Also, organ printing. I think cornea. Uh, uh, 3D printing is better because normally you would have to, let's say you make an organ here on Earth. If you 3D print, sorry if I get away from the mic. If you 3D print, there's gravity, so you have to create structures to keep it up and make sure it is the form it has when it's being constructed, and then those things interrupt the efficiency of the function after. But on gravity, you don't have to put, let's say, to make it simpler, if you have a bridge on, you start building a bridge, you have to put structures like this, and then let's say what you really need is this. You remove them, but that makes it a little dirty under the bridge. If you do it in space, you can just construct the bridge, which in this case would be an organ because there's no gravity, and it is more functional. It is, you save material, and it's longer lasting. It's gonna revolutionize a lot of things.
I don't know if I sent you already a video with Rita Williams explaining about 3D printing in space. I don't know if I did. I will send you. And she explained that you cannot bring anything in space what you need. So if you need some special tool, they design it on Earth, on computer, and they send it to the ground and they print it in space.
Wow.
Exactly. I have
Wow.
a correspondent and friend, a young professor from Japan, also an physiologist. He invented a ventilating machine for space,
Mm-hmm.
and he liked very much my device. He said, "Wow, your device is connecting very good with my one." Well, it's standard connection, it's something else. But he showed me a small valve that has been specially designed and printed
A
so
small
that
what?
the
Sorry?
spring, a small valve,
Ah, valve. Okay.
adjusting valve, yes, with a special spring that has been specially designed to work perfectly in gravitation. Well, elasticity has nothing to do with gravitation, but it has to be very light to be sent there and very simple by design to be printed out there. So actually, he sent this device with the help of the Japanese Space Agency, the JAXA. He sent this device in space, and in that video clip, you'll see for a few seconds that two hands are maneuvering and seeing that it's very easy to use in space. And many
Wow.
other things can be done there.
Yeah. Another thing that is also telemedicine, because most of the communication on Earth is well, right now it's leveling out, but it's through fiber optics that go through oceans. There's some satellite was more expensive, but since there's more access to space, telemedicine is doing medicine via like communication, audiovisual, or it could be just dashboards or whatever. But
More than that. More
yeah,
than that.
yeah, there's more than that. But to simplify it, when you have, since fiber optic, there's not a spear unless you make it on orbit. It takes a little longer to go, so you can't operate someone. Let's say, because there's specialists, subspecialties, super specialties of very specific things, and there might be an emergency. Let's say in South Korea, and the doctor is in Mexico. If you do it through fiber optic, there will not be the latency of the time it goes for him to get the reception is too slow. But since you have satellites on orbit and it's light speed, normally, let's say, which might not sound like a lot, just to explain a little bit, let's say it takes through fiber optics, I don't know exactly, I'm going to get up, like 1.5 seconds or 3 seconds. I don't know how, it might be less, 800 milliseconds, which is still a lot. Through, let's say, for example, low Earth orbit, like Starlinks, which I think are like 450 kilometers of height, the latency from one side of the world to the other, at first it was like 120 milliseconds, but right now it's down, depending on the part of the world and where you're communicating to, anywhere high end 75 milliseconds, and it comes down, I think it's coming down to like 30 milliseconds right now. And apparently through the bigger constellation is gonna happen, it's gonna be, I think because of the limits of physics, there's gonna be a moment it's gonna be 8 milliseconds. So just to put this in perspective to people, is
less than the blink of an eye.
Oh yeah, way less. I think a blink of an eye is like 35 milliseconds. I don't know. So it's immediate. And humans, just to put in perspective how fast that is, humans cannot know. For humans, only recognize echo from 12 milliseconds high. I think from 8 milliseconds to 11 milliseconds, it's called Haas effect, and it sounds stereo. There's this area under 8 milliseconds, it sounds like one signal, no stereo. Above 11 milliseconds, there's delay. So it's immediate. Like it's practically immediate. So that means you can operate people from the other side of the world thanks to space exploration, thanks to technology, not just biomanufacturing or tools reduction.
Actually, this is called synchronous telemedicine.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Telemedicine in real time. It has been done already, but not to space. It has been done probably 1 or 2 months ago. A surgeon in France operated on a heart surgery, something, on a patient in China. So the surgeon in France was manipulating with instruments.
Oh, Da Vinci.
And he was seeing, I don't know, it was not Da Vinci, it was something else. But anyway, so it can be done. It's the same even in Da Vinci. The surgeon doesn't manipulate the device itself. It's on a fact.
I just mentioned because one people mostly know.
Yeah. So exactly as we see each other, he was sitting in his desk in France, as he was seeing the movements of his hands reflected on the instruments in China.
That's
So
beautiful.
it's amazing. It's amazing.
Actually, now you remember that about specific Da Vinci. This is not telemedicine. Actually, this is Earth medicine, which is amazing about this apparatus. It's a machine that's faster than humans because we're not as fast as we think. But the thing is, for example, the Da Vinci is a machine that you translate human movement through a machine and it compensates whichever it wants. Some heart surgeries, even if it's immediately, even if the patient is just a couple meters away, it's better with the Da Vinci because let's say you have a heartbeat, tukut, 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 right, and the valve opens, closes, right. The a human cannot be like, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna go, because there's not enough precision. So the Da Vinci, what it permits, which is I find amazing, is it literally freezes visually. It doesn't happen like that. What the doctor sees is the valve open like this all the time because it skips when it closes. It doesn't show that. It just shows this, and he's
Yes.
operating like it was an open valve, but the heart is actually going. He's just seeing like this, and it looks like, how is it magic? No, the machine is actually going in and out every heartbeat, and the doctor just sees it open. That's so amazing. I was like, when I in medicine, I was like, wow, that's so cool. That's a very cool use of technology. You see it open, and like, I don't know. I just wanted to explain that. That's Earth medicine. That's not space medicine.
Yeah.
Anyways, so there's many applications. Also, you get to study different diseases that you were telling me about cancer the other time. How it behaves in space and how they study it.
The issue, the study of different medications in space is facilitated by the fact there is a theory that in space people age faster than on Earth. So you can somehow study the evolution of a drug or the effects of a drug, so-called faster than it do it on Earth. I don't know exactly because there are many theories. Not all the medications have been tested. Part of the antimicrobials, at least, again, it's a little problematic because even in space, even the bacteria behave differently.
Oh, really?
Maybe you have written that recently they have discovered some bacteria on the International Space Station and also some viruses on the Tiangong station of the Chinese.
I did not know that.
They started behaving completely different because there is in another environment, and as much as you can try to keep this environment sterile, by the way, there was an article, too much sterile is not good either. So the bacteria start behaving differently. Even our bacteria in the gut translocate.
Okay.
E. coli, yes, but there are many others. Translocate into the abdomen. They pass the abdominal wall.
I never thought about that.
And they start behaving differently as well.
It decompensates the whole. What's supposed to be in the colon goes into.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know what they are doing.
I never thought about that. That's very interesting.
Yes, and nobody really does, because if you take a bacteria that is actually a saprophyte, it lives together with you, and you just transfer that bacteria from one place in the body where the bacteria used to be to another place where the bacteria is not used to
like
be.
Like Helicobacter pylori, that people think that you get the ulcer first and then you get the infection. No, the infection changes the pH and it just compensates the whole mucus. So it's kind of like inverse of people think.
And
I think the doctor actually put the bacteria on himself, right, to prove that it was.
I know. I don't know.
I think that's the story. He's like, I know Helicobacter pylori is the one creating, and I think he used an endoscope. And
I think I didn't read about the story about
the medical hierarchy. I could be wrong. Don't take that as a fact. So
no.
I'm wrong.
I don't know the story, but I know the story of the inventor of the laryngeal mask, Archie Bray.
Okay.
That, in order to convince the British anesthesiologists about his device, under local anesthesia and in front of his colleagues, he inserted to himself a laryngeal mask and started breathing and talking normally.
Okay, explain it again. I think I didn't get it.
When you come with a new airway device, the new device in general, the first reaction is resistance. So we've been used for 60 years for the tracheal tube and all the rest. Why do we need this thing and that? It's not good. It's difficult. It's this and that. So in order to convince how easy it is,
He put it on
they
himself.
yes,
Yes.
under local anesthesia, in front
Oh.
of the audience, he inserted to himself, and because it's over the vocal cords, he kept breathing and talking with his device in, showing that
Wow.
the airway is safe. Yes, so
Yeah.
that I know for sure.
I don't think intubation would be as easy, right?
You cannot do it on yourself.
Yeah, intubation would be a little complicated. I mean, yeah, you could. Yeah. Well, you're the expert on that. Okay. I don't know how long. I want to keep talking. I don't know how people. I don't even know if there's anyone watching, but I'm enjoying this. So okay, let me get to another question. Okay, okay, a little different. Dr. Paul, tell us one of your non-medical talents. Talking about singing.
Oh, my non-medical talent. I like to sing it under the shower.
Which is the
You
song that
know,
we're gonna play in the future?
um, I like very much the three tenors Pavarotti, Carreras, and Domingo. And sometimes also Frank Sinatra. One of my favorites is
That's the one I'm gonna learn on
Strangers in the
guitar.
Night.
So you sing it. What is
Yes,
your
Strangers,
timbre, or I don't know how you say it in English?
somewhere between bass and baritone. More,
Maybe
more, more to the baritone. Yes,
Pavarotti was baritone.
more or less. Yes,
Okay,
it depends on how cold it's outside.
you must know this when we're going to music. But is it true that he was an art teacher and somebody discovered him like singing on the halls of some school?
Which one?
Pavarotti. I think he was an art
Uh,
teacher.
no,
I
no,
don't
no,
know,
no, 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 no,
or it might be
no, no, no,
another.
no. I'll send you the video there. You can find it as well. Pavarotti's father was singing in the choir of the chapel or of the monastery where they lived in Italy,
Mm-hmm.
and Pavarotti was a child, and he accompanied his father. And one day he started singing together with his father, and both his father and the other musician of their music teacher were like, wow, wow, what a voice. And you'll find by yourself, I sent to you, a duet with Pavarotti and his father, um, Pane Angelicus.
Angelico.
Uh,
I'm just
yes,
gonna explain a
first
little
of
bit
all,
why those type of voices you cannot practice to get them because it is anatomical. It's anatomy that I mean also talent. But for example, I could not have a baritone because the body behaves well,
like a resonance
there's
box.
exactly like a resonant box. So it is not only your chest anatomy, it is the shape of the head, how the sound bounces, also the size of your sinuses of your throat, which will allow the low frequencies to resonate, which is correct. Well, you said
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So
So and
he was young and he got that.
Pavarotti with his father sings in canon. Pavarotti's father starts first, "Pane very good," and when he starts the
Come
second
on,
phrase,
sing, Dr. Paul. Sing us a
yes,
song, Dr.
and
Paul.
then Pavarotti starts again. And I sent this video to my father. He loved very much his symphonic music, and I say, if you hear this piece, Panis and Panem Angelicus, with Pavarotti and his father, it's like hear God singing on two voices.
God singing in two voices because he had double.
I couldn't find another comparison. Such a beautiful music.
Wow, I did not know the story. So my dad, yeah, that's yeah. Music is such a lot of medical doctors are musicians, right?
Depends. Okay.
Or painters too.
Uh, Not necessarily painters or painting collectors.
Painting collect. Yeah, but that's because of taxes.
No, 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 no.
You know, I'm gonna tell you a story
Uh,
about how a friend. He's a laparoscopic surgeon. I don't know that's how you say it in English. But what he's doing now is he's practicing origami with his laparoscopic tools to have fine movement. Imagine that,
uh-huh.
doing origami with the extensions. That's amazing. Well, Dr. Ball, I think we're extending. Let me. We're going into music, and I don't want to make it was a test run, and it's getting fun now. But okay, so okay.
I sent it to you already.
Oh, okay. So what did he send me? Sorry, he sent me the
Panis
video.
Angelicus.
I don't know if I can play it because it might have a copyright claim. Let me see what this is. Give me 1 second.
No, no, no. It's from YouTube.
Yeah, but I don't know if I can. Is it live? I don't
No,
want
no,
to.
no, no. It's not. No, no, no. Pavarotti is dead.
No,
It cannot be live.
no, live. I mean, as in like a live recording performance. I mean, like it was
Yes,
recorded
it's a
live
live.
because it's
No,
sometimes
no. It
it's
was.
harder for the algorithm to
It's a
pick up.
presentation.
Yeah, I cannot. I don't know if I
It's
can
a
put it
presentation.
because it's
No,
gonna
oh, no, no, no,
copyright.
no. It's for you. It's for you.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Oh, sorry.
I
I
understand now.
was gonna.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I don't. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have it here, and thank you very much. We have to practice a song. I
Good.
have to learn that song on guitar, that Frank Sinatra song. Which one was it? The one that you like singing?
Panis Angelicus.
No, the Frank Sinatra song that you like singing.
Strangers in the night.
Strangers in the Night. We'll learn that in the future.
Strangers in the night. It's changing glances.
And if for some reason there's a Kessler syndrome and it can no longer go to space, we'll just become a duo and go on the streets. No more space medicine. Street musicianship.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm gonna call you not to keep talking about this because it's very interesting, but it's turning more into music, which is another part, which is not gonna be today. I want to say some more things about Dr. Paul. He is he's a genius. He's brilliant. You see him present his PowerPoint presentations. It is amazing. Like, I don't know how he does it, but in under 1 hour, he adapts the presentation to the audience because there's different ages in a way that people can understand it, which I think I would take like 6 hours and no one would understand. So that the simplification of information shows mastery of it. And I've been to 2 presentations and I learned different things, and I think it was very similar. And it was because it's a different audience. And as I told you, always invite me to your webinars if it's allowed to listen to you, because I love being a student of life, and I consider you a teacher, a friend. It's amazing that you contacted me and that you sent me your invention. I think you're trying to impress me, which you did impress me.
That was not. Not. I don't want to impress anyone. I want just to advance my device because I believe in it.
Yeah,
And
it's
in
actually
one
cheaper
of
than
your,
normal devices too, right?
it's not. It's not only a matter of price. Of course, you cannot work on empty. But the idea was that I think this is a device that can change a lot of things, simplify a lot of things. You don't need 3 or 4 separate devices when you can have all in one.
And it can save you
When
seconds, which is a matter of life or death. Those seconds.
well, if it's a matter of life and death, you can do it with anything you want, even with the mouth-to-mouth respiration. That's not the issue. But I give to your address to contact you when I was reading about Renana Bruchstein, the German doctor, young doctor who is in space medicine, and You are also connected to her somewhere, somehow.
Oh, Renana, of course. Yeah, she's a
Yes,
yeah. So
yes.
she's brilliant. She's finishing her doctorate in space medicine right now. I think she's a candidate. She
No, she's
her thesis
she
her thesis.
she her thesis on cardiovascular changes in space. Okay,
Yes,
so
I'm gonna have her.
so
I
I
told her
looked at,
in a
yes,
few weeks.
she was also present in the audience.
Yeah, I saw her.
Okay, so I saw you there, and I also noticed entrepreneur industry blah blah blah. Excuse me for the blah blah blah. It's too much for me to remember now.
It's okay. It's okay.
And I was thinking, look, this might be an interesting person. He's in space. He's young. He's an entrepreneur. He's right about industry, and maybe I can funnel my idea with this gentleman. Maybe we can find an industry or someone to get the idea and go forward. Because look, any inventor, any innovative person thinks, oh, I did this, I did that, I think it will be this, I think it will be that. Well, it's a
Look,
little part of the
I will
dream.
not be able to add anything because you've already constructed this, but I will make all efforts to make sure it happens faster because you're already doing it. I'm not gonna change
No,
anything. Maybe a catalyzer or something
no, no,
faster,
no,
but
no, 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 no. Listen to me. Of course, a little hope and a little romance exists in everything.
tell people
But
why
besides this,
we need to get more people to know your invention. What is to what is the limiting factor right now?
what is what?
The limiting factor of its
The limiting factor is the administration. I cannot test it in live patients without the permit of the health ministry. And as it happens in many, many situations like this, I have to deal with people that are more administrators than doctors, and I have to explain that the water is wet and why one is 1 in 2 and not 2.5 when things are self-evident. It is very, very difficult to explain why a self-evident is self-evident.
how could people
So
help with this? How could we help you?
good question. So first of all, I need a hospital. I need a hospital that will take the idea and run faster than here
Anywhere in the world?
anywhere in the world.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, the
I'll
idea and anywhere in the world I can go with my Israeli or Romanian passport. I would go to any place, but I cannot go to any place.
Okay, you
So
need to
to
clinical
get a,
studies, right? You need to get into clinical studies, right?
I have for the moment 20 or 30 devices. I don't remember exactly how much I have the contract with the factory. The most sensitive part is that it's similar to or corresponds to an LMA number 2, so it's designed for children. And that children's
More
age
delicate.
5, 4, okay. So this is a very sensitive subject. The people that wish to help me need to understand that functionally and constructive, it is absolutely no different than an eye gel or a laryngeal mask to the same size.
You know
The
what'd be interesting,
materials,
Dr. Paul?
mm,
I'm gonna research how they approved the first one because the first one had to be approved. I mean, the version that exists right now. I'm gonna investigate how it was approved.
yes, because look, every device you want to modify has to be adopted. But as you said, once the head of series, this number 2, is accepted, probably number 2.5, 3, 4, and 5
Yeah,
will come.
easier.
No, there is a certain procedure, certain administration. Every device has to be approved. The anatomy of a child is different from the anatomy of an adult. That's another issue. But basically, the process will be much easier. In pharmacology, it is called Me Too.
What is that?
Me Too. Like, I'm doing the same thing. Me Too. So
Okay, okay.
I said, okay, the number 2 is working. So the concept is the same concept. So other numbers should work in the same way.
Okay.
So the whole procedure should be easier.
And quick question, which I don't know if it's a good question actually. What happens if you start with adult? Could you? Oh, it's expensive, right? Because you have to develop adult, which is the design.
I faced this question many times. First of all, the idea initiated from the, I told you, from the gastroenterology in children. That was the starting point. That was the need, how they call it.
Mm-hmm.
In an adult, as I told, you can manage with some local anesthetic, something through the vein. It's okay. So
Okay.
while developing this mask, then the idea came, if it will work for children, and the idea is absolutely the same, why not develop for the whole series? Now, people should realize that in order to build a prototype, you need to build a matrix, you need to build the injection molds. You have to make the computer design. It's a very
Medical grade materials, which
long.
might look the same but are
No, no, no,
infinitely more
no, no,
expensive.
no, no. The materials are biocompatible. It's not the issue. Of course, they should be.
I thought they have to be medical
Otherwise,
grade, but
no, 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 no. The materials are biocompatible. Even the factory wouldn't start to work if the materials were not already
okay, I understand. Okay,
WHO approved. Okay. Then they made the
let me do this.
resistance test. Yeah, the resistance test. They put it to a machine that pulled the whole device to 43 or 4 times more than the
And those tests are
strongest.
expensive.
No, and they didn't break. It stayed in place.
We're
So
gonna
it's
I'm gonna call you after this to brainstorm some ideas to see how. I mean, I'm not gonna be able to help you directly, but see who I can maybe email or something. I don't know.
an anesthesiologist that has connections with the industry.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
First
that's what
of
you
all,
told me last time. I should have invited my anesthetic friend, which I did, but
look, what I think the best course of action should be, first of all, a child anesthesiologist from a children's hospital or hospital that provide anesthesia for children should first of all meet with me and you on video so that I present my PowerPoint with the device.
it's
Ask
on.
all the questions,
We have to
etc.,
research for that.
etc., etc. Second,
That's the first step.
once they understand the idea, I have the protocol built, get the IRB, I mean the Helsinki approval,
Mm-hmm.
and then I come to that hospital and it takes 1 or 2 days
Okay.
and do all the tests. So I
Okay.
come to Mexico to meet you personally.
Okay, Dr. Paul, I'm gonna call you right after this, through normal call without all this. This is see what I mean. Yeah. Well, um, because it took me a, a few minutes or a little a few runs to understand the importance of your device. And I had never asked what was the limiting factor. Now I understand it more. So thank you for sharing that. And to end, I mean, I want to keep going, but we said it was going to be half an hour, and I don't know how long how long has it been running?
I don't know.
1 hour 21 minutes. Well, okay, 1 hour 21 minutes. Dr. Paul, thank you very much. I'm sorry for ending abruptly like this, but I don't want to take.
It's
It's very
okay.
late where you are.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, but you, I don't know. You're like Batman because you message me sometimes when it's 4 a.m. and I'm like, okay, you're a very hardworking doctor. Thank you for today. This is the first official live stream. It is an honor to have you here. It's an honor to consider you my friend. I hope to keep learning with you.
Likewise.
Thank you very much. And I mean, it's gonna be very frequent because people have to get to know he's very charismatic, funny, chispa. I don't know how you say sharp. He's you gotta today. You saw the expert doctor, but then you're gonna see the fun.
I'm an expert in what I have developed because it's my work and I follow step
Of
by
course.
step.
Okay.
Other people are expert in other fields. Okay.
Well, thank you for today. It was the first one. So
Okay.
rocket's ready, rock and roll.
And thank you very much for the invitation, and thank you very much for the people that have the patience to listen to everything. And if there are any other questions, please write me. I'll be glad to answer.
Okay. Have a good evening. Rest well. I'm gonna call you quickly, and then
Buenas noches.
nice. Buenas. How do you say it in Romanian? You told me the other time.
Noapte bună.
Notte buena.
Noapte bună.
Noapte bună. It's getting better. Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.